and gentlemen, welcome to Kingdom of Kodiak. I'm Kodiak. With me today is Sir Smiley of the Burning Lands. How are you?
I'm nervous.
Oh, now you're nervous. Okay. Fantastic. All right. Well, let's not waste any time, Sir Smiley. Let's get to the bare necessities. Sorry, sir.
Fair.
um, how long have you been playing Amcard?
Uh, since late '96, I think is how long I've been playing. So what is that? 24 years,
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that.
Sweet.
Uh,
Oh, go
Good.
ahead.
No, you're good.
I was going to ask you, how long have you been aware of Amcard?
Um, about the same amount of time. Pretty close to it. I was in junior high in the comic book shop that I always hung out at after school. A bunch of the guys came in and they kept going to Midland to play Amcard, and they'd come in over the weekend. And as soon as they would do that, they would go, "All right, awesome. Hey, what is this? And does anybody else want to play with us?" And so we started going, "Sure, man. We'd love to play. We'd love to see kind of what happens there." And then after that, I just stayed around and actually helped found the group in Hobbs, and I've been playing ever since. So
Sweet.
from the moment I knew about it, I've been involved.
I think Sir Francis asks a question about the Hobbs Park here later on. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Uh, but how about you tell us a little bit about the Smiley persona, and then
So that came about is that was not my persona name ever, and I was coming out to our Amcard field, and we were trying to find ways to stand out and stuff like that. And I never could think of an Amcard name, so my first sign in was DM, which is my actual initials, and so that turned into everybody going, "Oh, so you're a dungeon master?" I was like, "No, that's not it." And then I love playing Soul Calibur, and Cervantes was my favorite character, so I chose the name Cervantes, and that turned into Toronto calling me Cerveza all the time. And finally, the actual first garb I really ever had made for myself had smiley faces all over it. And the moment I hit the field, that's exactly what everybody called me was, "Oh, that's Smiley," and it never went away. It's been with me ever since.
wow,
So
you're like one of the first people that I've talked to on KOK at least that has mentioned that they weren't really the proponent of the name coming to be part of
yeah.
their persona. That's wow.
Yeah, well, honestly, it was kind of funny. Is in Hobbs and Dark Oasis, that was kind of one of the things. Like me and Monkey grew up together in Hobbs, and we both started Amp and Dark Oasis, and both of us had these names that actually aren't our persona names, but it's nicknames that somebody gave to us or we've had for a while, and it didn't matter what persona name we attached to ourselves. That was the name somebody else was going to call us, no matter what.
Well, it's a fantastic name, and never change it.
Well, I don't know. My friend Tanner, he thinks I should be Frowny sometimes, but we'll figure it out.
That's fair. Okay. What would you say is the award or achievement you're most proud of receiving?
The award I'm the most proud of receiving is actually the Dreamkeeper from Emerald Hills, and that is probably the most important award to me out of everything I've ever received. Is just somebody saying, this is what we have, and this is kind of this achievement award of you're a guy that appreciates the game, and but more than that, you appreciate people and human beings, and you are trying to better people, not just yourself, and you're keeping that dream, and you're trying to help the game, and you've done it for so long. So here's the order of the Dreamkeeper, and so that one was one that I found really humbling and very much appreciated from Emerald Hills while I was over there.
Wow, that's fantastic. Well,
But
good award.
there's also the Defender of the Black Dragon, but we'll blame Randall for that one.
The Scald of the Black Dragon is being blamed for Defender of the Black Dragon.
It happens.
Only on KOK. Only on KOK. All right. Let's talk about battle games. What would you say is your favorite battle game?
I think my favorite battle game is oh man, I don't know. There's been a lot of good ones throughout the years, but I probably like just a natural mass annihilation battle game without any really rhyme or reason to it. It's just two teams against each other, and all classes are allowed. And then you just either have a life pool, and whoever's life pool runs out first, that's the winner. I enjoy those because it seems more fast paced, and there's just more more action going on in a quicker time. So that's what I enjoy the most. And plus, I can be a little more chaotic when I play the game and make fun of
There it
people.
is. There it is. I was waiting for you to say the word chaotic, and there it is. I was suspecting that was going to come. All right, you're playing in this giant game. What's the favorite class to play?
Reeve.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. That way I can tell people they're dead. And if they don't like it, they can get off the field. Um, my favorite class to play is either going to be monster, just some type of monster class in general, or going to be the warrior class. Those are kind of my bread and butters that I enjoy the most.
Okay. All right. So, is there a class that you wish you knew more about?
Yes, wizard. I wish I knew more about wizard or bard. Those would be probably pretty equal. I'm pretty crummy at magic classes, so, but those are the two that I've just watched other people do just some amazing stuff with on battlefields and go, God, I wish I could think that quickly on my feet to use those abilities to affect the field the way you do it. And I just don't know. I don't know it that well, and I'm not able to implement it. So I'll usually just stick to the simple stuff.
Okay.
So
So these are this that question and this question are extensions on the favorite class, and I think this is the first time in KOK that we've gotten almost 8 questions instead of the traditional 5.
what?
Yeah. What class would you say you dislike?
What class do I dislike?
Mm-hmm.
Um, mm, None of them actually. I mean, I can't really think of a class that I dislike. I think all of them currently how everything's structured, and I know there's some problems here and there, but currently everything seems to kind of balance itself out with because one class will balance out another class and keep other things in check. So I like all the classes. If I'm fighting a different class, it's probably going to be something like druid or wizard that I'm going to be the most frustrated with if I'm fighting against somebody that's playing those classes and they're really good at it.
Okay. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if someone being frustrated with me in Amp Guard, so playing a druid, yeah, that makes sense. Also, you don't have to protect Sir Francis by not saying Archer just because he's watching. Like,
I actually, I, man, I'm almost 25 years in the game. I'm definitely coming to where I'm liking Archer more and more.
okay.
And so, I guess I'll throw a shot at Francis. When we all decide that we can't really fight anymore and we need to kind of retire, we're just going to shoot arrows at people. It's
Oof.
fine. I agree with Tice. We all do that.
Literal shots fired. Okay.
Robert, I love you. I'm sorry.
Last part of the bare necessities. What's your favorite weapon combo?
Sword and shield, like a 36-inch short and probably a max medium.
Okay. So yeah, in the world of not liking classes, I would just say no. I like all classes, but we gotta get rid of sword and board. So, uh,
I can live with that. I'll take a Madu. I mean, it wouldn't technically be a board. I'll take a Madu and sword.
that's fair. All right, that's the bare necessities. Sorry, Sin. Let's go to the 3 questions that the KOK viewers have made a tradition in this show, and then we'll move into your groups. Kron is the one that's credited with this question. Sir Glenolf is supposed to be receiving a toaster and or a soda maker. What say you?
He has both. Like I've already sent them to him. COD.
Oh, look at that.
So I
Okay.
mean, if he doesn't get it, I blame Amazon, Jeff Bezos or something. But they're on the way, man. Let me know if you don't get them.
All right, we're gonna have to hear. We're gonna have to get an update from Sir Glenolf. That's what's gonna have to happen here.
Yeah, I mean, they should already be there.
Okay. All right. Stillhat would like to know your thoughts on bears.
I like bears.
Okay.
Bears eat beets. Battlestar Galactica.
Nice. Nice. Uh, what is your favorite bear?
My favorite bear. So my favorite actual bear is probably going to be, like a black bear.
Mhm.
But if we're talking, bears in Amp Guard, it's either going to be my knight Bear Rug, or it's going to be my grand knight Kamal, which I know his persona is not a bear, but that man's a bear. So
Fair. Okay. All right. And then the last little caveat to the bear question. Stillhat would like to know why is Stillhat the best bear?
because he's delusional, he's the only one who thinks that.
Okay. So it's not really a point for you. It's a mythical one way off in the distance where the clouds exist. Um, moving on. What are your thoughts on the Dragon Spine mobile pool and or jacuzzi?
Um, sure. If you guys want to do that, that's cool. I'll sit on the outside next to a campfire, cracking jokes. I'm
Oh,
down.
okay. And would you allow bears in the hot tub or jacuzzi?
Um, well, I mean, I'm not in Dragon Spine, so I don't think I get a say. But if I was King of Dragon Spine, um, no, no. I mean, it depends. Can I shave the bears before they get in?
I would request that you don't shave the bear,
If I
but
could shave the bears, cool. They can get in. If I can't shave the bears, sorry, man, you're out.
have you ever seen what a shaven bear looks like?
No, but I'm willing to experiment.
Oof, it's not good. Anyone that's watching, go look up shaved bear. It's not pretty.
We're we're gonna start a fundraiser to see if we can get Kodiak to shave his beard. That's what's gonna happen here.
There it is. I'm for it. If you can get a fundraiser going, obviously with proceeds going somewhere nice, sure, why not?
St. Jude's Hospital. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first.
Yeah, absolutely, why not? Sir Smiley's got me. He's locked it in. It's fine. All right. Okay. So those are the three questions from the KOK viewers. Let's talk about your groups a little bit here. You have an interesting array of questions. Obviously, you have a bunch of questions around your knighthood. You had a bunch of funny questions, but funny's always there, and knighthood's every 4 weeks. So
Right.
the other two categories I didn't really label because we cover a range of things inside of both categories, but inside the categories, there's some themes. Let's
Okay.
hit some themes.
Okay.
Jubei would like to know, when making a sword at Smiley Foamwork, which one do you put glue on?
He already knows this question. If I answer it right now, that means I can't fire him later.
So no spoilers for anyone who doesn't work for you at this point.
Well, if you go to our website at smilingfoamworks.com,
Mm-hmm.
you will find which sword we put glue on out of our basic swords. I'm not saying it's the one that might have part of my name in it, but it might be the one that has part of my name in it.
Fantastic. You got there. We got there, folks. All right. Do you consider yourself one of the big names in sword vending after the fall of Warlord Sports?
Not by choice. No. No, but I mean, I'm sure seeing all the posts and things we have from our social media that updates us, it appears that way. But man, there's a lot of great foam smiths out there, man. There's people like Uther and his Uther Forge. There's people like Valance. There's those Hamster Arms that was around. Lily over in CK had Guardian Arms. I mean, there's a plethora of guys out there that I may have a bigger name recognition, but trust me, there's guys that probably should have bigger name recognition than I do.
Well, I'm not willing to go that far, but there are more people that should be recognized. It's fair, but
Yeah.
you not being the top one, I don't know about that. You could keep the crown.
Okay. Okay.
Still, I would also like to know if you could describe some of the difficulties of being a vendor at events.
Well, being a vendor and being someone who loves playing our game, that's where it's difficult. Especially like if you go to Keep on the Borderlands and they have the night quest, but we end up tending to have more sales that'll happen at the booth when most of those events are going on. And so you're figuring out how to get coverage, figuring out who can work the booth. If I'm the only one that showed up and we don't have a team or anybody else that's volunteered to help us, that's hard because you want to go out and do this stuff. And then you're kind of beholden and stuck to your booth because even after hours, you don't just want stuff to, up and walk away.
Right.
And in that context, it becomes a little difficult because that's where you are. And I don't know, AmpGuard events are known for us walking from campsite to campsite, visiting other people, hanging out, sharing old stories, which is kind of why we try to make the atmosphere at the shop when we're at an event one that people want to be around and hang out for a while. Just so I'll be honest, I'll buy, for selfish reasons, just so I still get that kind of event feel, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
If you can promise me a Bardic, I will bring people to GOTC and just sit in front of your tent.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. Bring people to the gathering. We'll put a Bardic on. I'll find somebody to lead and help out with that. Absolutely.
Yeah, storytelling. I love getting history lessons and stuff like that. If
Yeah.
we could just move it from Dame Annabelle's tent over to yours, not a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll do a whole lot of back in my day stories.
That's what I love to hear. I love to hear those. All right, Ragnarok would like to know, from a gameplay standpoint, do you feel that there needs to be any changes to our rule set?
Gosh, man, Ragnarok is so good at our rules. Um, I'm sure there's good arguments, but from my perspective, are there things that need to be changed? I mean, I don't think so. But again, I'm kind of one of those very simple guys when it comes to our rules. I just want to show up and play,
Mhm.
and you tell me what I need to do,
Sure,
and I'm happy
absolutely.
with that. So yeah, I mean, I think there might be a few things here and there. I would like to see maybe a couple things added back in or to our rule book. Like the class artisan. I know we have color and we have peasant, but if we had the artisan class, I think they can really represent some very specific people that they're not just colors. They're not just somebody who's going to fight on the field either, but they are artisans in our game, and it gives them more recognition in that context.
Mhm.
Um, I think you can find stuff that I would love. Just I'd love as playing warrior. I want to be able to. I want to be like a monk and be able to block stuff with my hands without
Sure.
without losing my hands. So
Yep.
just some simple things. And again, but those are just for me personally. But I like our game flow now as opposed to V5 or V6. I've really enjoyed some of the context of what we've done with V8. I like not having. Um, I like playing battle games to where it's not just at this level you have so many lives and that's it, but you can have life pools and stuff like
Right.
that. So I've enjoyed where it's at now. So I'm not sure if there's too much that needs to be changed,
Okay.
but I'm sure if I got into an in-depth conversation with Ragnarok, we could probably come up with something.
Sure. I will ignore my question as part of that then and just ask Lightning side of it. We're moving away from the ROP, but we're still in Amp If you could change one thing in Amp what would it be?
If I could change one thing in AmpGuard, what would it be?
Yep.
We get rid of knighthood.
Okay.
No
I'm I'm,
knighthoods.
I'm listening.
No knighthoods.
Okay.
I think individual people and groups in a role playing aspect, if they want to create knighthoods for themselves and go through that, great. But I would eliminate knighthoods in that context and try to do everything I can to eliminate anything that would build up a holier than thou, or I'm better than, or look at me, I'm on the top of the heap here. I really want more people to feel like we're all equals. We're all doing the same thing. We're all having fun. I mean, I dress in weird clothes and hit people with foam sticks. I'm a Nerf nerd. So how serious can we be? So, and that seems to be something over the 25 years I've been playing. People have argued and got heated over and upset about, and systems have been abused. And so, if it's done that much damage to people's mental health at times, then why have it? Why don't we find something better to actually lift people up and build them up?
Okay. All right. Agree to disagree, and I'll move on. Um, the still asks wants to know about how you feel about opening the gates for female fighting, specifically on the path to Sword Knight, and how it will affect our game moving forward.
That's a hot topic issue. Um, I personally, I don't have a problem with it, right? And that's probably because I'm in the mindset, like, I love watching boxing. I love watching mixed martial arts and UFC and things like that. And so when you look at those categories and stuff, you have you have two separate categories for male and female fighters, right? And it doesn't mean that the female fighter, because she's a female fighter, is less than the male fighter. They're equals, and they're like when Ronda Rousey was the champ in UFC, she was legitimately the champ in the UFC, and was just as good as any other fighter in all of UFC. And so I don't see why we can't have that same type of recognition. Does that mean that we would then go, well, now women can't fight in men's tourneys? Absolutely not. That's the system we still have, and I don't think that would change. But I think if we had that and open that up, and yeah, and you have a female, you have, or you have a non-men's tourney, and you go out there and you wreck shop with some of the best fighters that are out there, and things match up to the ROP, then why am I not going to look at a female fighter and say, yeah, I mean, you fight good enough for a girl? I mean, come on.
Right.
I think at that point you go, yeah, that was amazing. That was fantastic. Like, let's recognize you for the amazing fighter you really are.
Mhm.
Like
Hey,
that. I think that helps our game.
look at that. Agree to agree on the next question. We agree. Fantastic. This is coming from Sir Ice from EH, and I'm going to read like verbatim. In your opinion, has the year without physical play made Amtgard culture more toxic against itself? There's a couple of follow ups after that.
Um, no, actually, I don't think it has. I think we've seen a lot of things, but I think it's because there's more activity, and so statistically, what we would normally experience is going to be a little bit bigger. But I think I've seen more things online of amp guarders coming together in positive ways to continue to still effectively play amp guard the best way we can without actually playing amp guard. And so I don't think it's attributed more toxicity than what any of us might argue is already there.
Okay. Follow up question. Has the game lost its sense of self and become a keyboard cowboy group of hate and banter?
I think select groups have, yes. I
Okay.
think there are select groups that abuse the ability to sit behind a screen and use their keyboard to bully other people. Maybe spread lies or just try to take advantage of a situation that otherwise they wouldn't have control over. And but I don't think it's a rampant issue.
Okay. And can Amtgard recover from the downtime?
Yes, I believe AmpGuard not only can but will. I think it's kind of one of those things that we look historically. We look back to 1918 to the Spanish flu, right? And then what do we have after that? We had the Roaring Twenties. I think we're going to see something similar to AmpGuard. Is we're going to be coming out of this, and we're going to have kind of our own Roaring Twenties, and people are going to want to play. There's going to be people that have been sitting at home that haven't played AmpGuard in years,
Hmm.
or haven't played any cup of LARP in years, and they're just because they haven't been able to, are going to remember. I want to do this. I want to try it again. And so I think we're going to see an influx of players immediately. The question is, how do we react to that influx? And how are we going to create an environment that is going to maintain that influx of players to continue to play?
Yep. No, that makes a lot of sense. And having Michael Hammer have got on last month for our nightly chat,
Yeah, that was a
same
good one too.
same sentiments being said here. It's the same thing. There's going to be another spike, and are we going to be able to keep him? So
Yeah, yeah. I, he's a good
uh,
guy.
he is very much. Lightning would like to know. Well, she has a memory for us. I remember coming to your booth at GOTC when you were giving away hot cups of tea for free on a chilly morning.
Yep.
She mentions that was great. And what gave you the idea?
So originally, what gave me the idea was just how long I've played and coming to Merchant Row and everything, and early in the mornings. It I like my coffee, and it's always kind of these cool mornings, and so it became something that I hated when I woke up at events, and I didn't want to carry a coffee maker with me. I didn't want to carry all the stuff to make warm teas or anything like that. So I just normally didn't, and just went without it until I found a campsite that had coffee or something. And so at that point, I was like, it's not going to cost us anything really to just put out a little coffee maker, because we have with the booth the electricity and everything usually,
Mhm.
or we have a portable generator we're able to bring, and just offer free hot cocoa, free hot coffee, free hot tea, to anybody who shows up. And again, that goes back to creating that environment that I'm hoping people are willing to stay around, especially in the evening hours, and hang out and just talk, and still have that fun event feel to it. Plus, it attracts people to the shop, and they get to see what we have, and what we make, and that's always a good business aspect, right? But
Absolutely.
it's mainly, honestly, so I can have my coffee early in the morning, and other people can also have their coffee early in the morning. And it's just, I don't know, it was kind of a no brainer. I know people like it and need it, or want it, and it's not costing us anything. So why not offer it?
Right. And now that you're going to run a Bardic, you can say, free tea for the Bardic, and
Right.
Yes.
That's right.
I'm helping
Right.
here. We're brainstorming. We're doing all this great work. It's fantastic.
I'm gonna try to clean my lens. Hold on.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
Well,
look, Smiley went away.
disappeared. Oh
He's
no.
gone.
Oh, viewership went
Oh, I'm
down.
back.
Oh, viewership's
Oh,
back. Fantastic. Because they don't want to look at this, so it's a good
oh
thing
man,
you're back.
you're sexy. Don't lie. You're sexy.
Well, don't say that. You might give me an ego. So uh, carry on to that same question. What's your favorite flavor of tea?
Favorite flavor of tea. I know Phoebe's watching this right now, probably screaming that this is the tea you like the most to drink all the time. So I'm probably going to answer this wrong, and
Okay.
she can comment and correct me. But I usually like some type of like wintergreen or mint type tea, especially a hot warm tea. But yeah, that'd be my hot tea. Otherwise, it's just a good southern tea that is nice and sugared.
Okay.
So,
Kind of answers the next question, but also look into positive energy. The tea, positive energy, very good. Uh, do you use milk and sugar?
oh yeah,
Okay.
absolutely,
All right.
100%. Like when I was a little kid, man, I could have, I don't know, I was probably 7 years old when my granny gave me my first cup of coffee, which meant it was mainly sugar and milk and
Mhm.
like that much coffee. And so as I've grown up, man, I've always had to have some type of coffee creamer or sugar and creamer in my coffee.
That's fantastic. All right. Still, I would like to know how many parks do you have credits at? Meaning that at one point you played at that park, and how many kingdoms?
So let's see here, Dark Oasis in Golden Plains. So yeah, we should knock it all out at the same time, right? Dark Oasis in Golden Plains.
Mhm.
Um, so parks I've played at are like parks that I resided in. Is that
Uh,
the question?
I would assume it's residing. Yeah.
Resided in. Okay, so
Yep.
yeah, Dark Oasis in Golden Plains, um, Kings Point in Emerald Hills, and then yeah, Burning Crimson Basin and Burning Lands. My records did reside in the county of Skywatch for a short period of time after we had moved into Texas, but they I never actually got to attend there and play while my records were there.
Okay.
So
Cool.
that would be it. So yeah, just Golden Plains, Emerald Hills, Burning Lands, Dark Oasis. That would be Dark Oasis, Kings Point, and Crimson Basin.
Okay.
That's
All
it.
right. Last question in our first set of categories, or in our first category of
No,
three.
no, first set of categories. That's fine.
First set of categories. Fine. All right.
Sorry.
What is the purpose of households? I want to caveat this one. Still Hut just joined the Order of the Ash, and I'm pretty sure that's the only thing she's thinking about right now. So.
So the purpose of households are so you can be in as many groups as you possibly want. That's it right there. I think I'm probably in 20 or 30 households. So no, honestly, real answer. I guess that just really depends on what the household is, right? If you're there to try to give a service to the game, maybe your house feast, and your house is always going to be doing feast for your kingdom, and that's part of what you want to do. Or your house builds stuff, and so you're trying to equip newbies as they come to the game. Or you have a household that me and Sweet Tea, Sir Sweet Tea now founded, called Amalgam, which is a comic book hero household. We don't do anything, but
Okay.
anybody can join the household, and you just pick what superhero you want to be. And the only rule is you can't be a superhero somebody's already picked. That's it. And that's how you become part of House Amalgam.
I love that. Okay. Cool. Awesome. Uh, I wasn't ready for such a like. That's wow. That's big time. Okay. So new category. Still asking questions though. And this is in reference to the person that plays Smiley. How did you end up with such a nice spouse?
Um, God, God just felt that's what I needed to keep me in line. um, Honestly, I ask myself that question all the time. I'll be the first to tell you, I believe I'm one of the luckiest guys in the world, man. So Why she said yes and chose me, she will tell you it's because I gave her a head injury and a concussion. I'm going to tell you that's true, but I don't think that's the reason. And I'm very, very lucky to have her.
That's awesome. Your spouse asks. I thought that was a good spot for this. Who inspires you the most?
Um, I think she does. And I say I think because I also watch what my kids do.
Mhm.
Um, and but just in life in general, not giving the corny answer of being the religious guy that I am and be like, well, Jesus. But I mean, realistically, she does. I mean, Phoebe does amazing stuff. I mean, she's earned her master's degree. She's still going through education. She homeschools our kids. She works a job that teaches English as a second language to kids in China, and gets up at 3 o'clock in the morning to do that job, and then stays up all day to do everything else that she does, as well as, we're ministers, and so she helps with all those responsibilities, and then just tries to be mom and an amazing wife, and then she serves as the regent of the Burning Lands currently, and tries to help out and serve in leadership roles in every AmpGuard park and kingdom she's been in. So, I mean, if she can do all of those things, and, and and at the end of the day, people are actually affected by it and learning and growing from it, then surely I can do something to help other people as well, and come alongside her and help her. And so she's the most inspiring person in my life.
Wow. Well, congratulations for having her in your life. All right. Uh, there's another statement here. I know you've been playing for 2 decades. I'm curious to know how you are not only how you stay focused, motivated, and how you continue to do service in the game.
Okay, so not to be corny or anything, but legitimately, seriously, all of those things are attributed to my faith. And so, as a Christian, as a believer, that's what's driven me to stay service orientated, to let people be people, and love people where they're at, regardless of, background, race, color, creed, sexuality, any of those things. Just, this is who we are as human beings. And that's taught me my life to, be the first person that'll help somebody. And so that's all got me to a point that if I can help people, that helps me stay focused, and there's more reward out of that than any award or belt or class leveling I can do or anything like that. It's what can I do? What can I do so somebody else can know they're important, they're worth it, they are something special, and it doesn't matter who you are. That's all from my faith that continues to go out and keeps me motivated to do everything and stay focused on that and keep serving.
That's fantastic. The world needs 4 more Smileys at least.
My wife would tell you no.
Well, come on, just two more,
It's too much.
not 4, 2. All right, Cassie would like to know, what is your favorite part of being on AI?
Nothing. It's horrible. I hate it. No, I'm kidding. My favorite part of being on AI is Casio. She keeps us all in line and helps out. I don't know. Favorite part. I'm not sure if there is a favorite part. I mean, I'm happy that I get to be in the position I'm in to try to help out. I don't like that I get too busy sometimes and fall behind on some of the responsibilities that I have in AI, but it's probably just the people on the board and just all of us, whether we disagree or not, we're there as a team to try to move things forward and do the right thing. And so just having that team aspect is something I've always enjoyed.
Cool. Lightning would like to know, talking about AI, what advice would you give to someone who's new to Interkingdom Office?
Get out of it as soon as possible.
That, I mean, you said you didn't. You said there was nothing nice about it. Then you're telling people to get out of it. It sounds like you have a stronger opinion than you're playing off right now.
No, if you're new to it, I mean, really, it's the I think the hardest thing is understanding that you don't have to be what everybody else wants you to be, right? Like you can be who you are understand your strengths, understand your weaknesses, and move forward in that aspect. Don't try to do things in a networking sense that I have to know so and so, or I have to be around so and so to make sure I can do this. No, just be yourself, and
Mhm.
understand you don't have to live up to everything that anybody else around you might do. Live up to your expectations, and if those, unless you're just a horrible human being, your expectations are usually going to be something that's beneficial for the game as a whole. And
Right.
so, in that context, live up to your expectations, stand on what you know to be right, and be willing to, at the same time, compromise when you need to do that for the betterment of the game as a whole. And that's really all it comes down to. But also, if, I don't know, if you're playing the game for a year or 2 years, you're like, I'm thinking about running for AI board of directors. Do it. I'm not the guy that's going to be like, I haven't played. No, do it. Put your name in the hat. See what happens. And you have plenty of people that are around you that none of us wants to see somebody in those type of positions just fail. And so
Right.
you're going to have people around you to support you, help you learn the ropes. Yeah, you'll make mistakes, but that's okay. I mean, that's how we learn, and we'll get through that as long as you own up to them and say, "Yep, my bad. That was my fault," and you can keep doing things. So,
Right.
in a nutshell, that's it.
Yeah, and I mean, we should have that at every level, right? Like
Yep.
at the Kingdom Park level,
Yep.
if someone wants to try it, try it. Again, humble brag, 3 years of playing the game, not until the first week of January, and I've been the monarch of a park for a year and a monarch of a kingdom for a year. So,
Yep. And I think you and Cal both have that distinction. And so I don't know if he's watching or he can comment, but I think it was 3 years, and then he became Kingdom Monarch. He had ran for Kingdom Monarch and almost won, and then he became Kingdom Monarch, and then he did a second term.
mhm,
And so now we're getting ready to knight him with Knight of the Crown, and I think he's been playing the game for 4 years.
right,
So, I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, if you think you can do it, try it. I mean, the worst that could happen is that didn't go as I planned.
right,
That's okay, man. There's nothing
right.
wrong with that.
I mean, it's 2020. Nothing goes as planned.
Yeah, if you
Um,
really want to, try something, 2020 is the year to do it. Because how much worse could it get?
right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Point made. Uh, Lightning would also like to know, what is the favorite office that you've ever held?
Hmm. uh, uh, Prime Minister, Kingdom Prime Minister of Golden Plains,
Oh,
and um, I held that position for 2 years and straight, and then we had to move to Fort Worth, Texas. So I probably would have held it longer, but I don't know, man. There's just there's something about making sure that people have their proper awards, that your monarch knows where people's award levels are at. The sign-in sheets are kept up, auditing your parks and finding ways of where, things are going great, but here's where it's not going great. How can we come alongside you and help you with that? Just all those things, and just sitting in front of the orc and putting in people's credits. That might be the one part that I hated. Um,
right.
but doing the administrative side of stuff, at that point in time in Golden Plains, if you were prime minister, you were also the treasurer on the board. So you helped make sure the finances were good,
Mhm.
and you just stayed in communication. And without a good kingdom prime minister at the time, the rest of the parks in the kingdom also suffered. So I just really enjoyed seeing the inner workings and then developing systems that benefited people.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Sir Francis would like to know, what are some of your best memories from Dark Oasis?
There aren't any, Francis. No, I'm kidding. No, there's a lot, man. Oh gosh, there's tons. We were such nerds back then.
That
And
hasn't really changed.
no, not even. It got worse. Uh, but um, favorite. Okay, so he will probably know what I'm talking about. I don't know if he was at this particular event, but um, one of my favorite memories from Dark Oasis was we had went to Archimedes and Van the Ruthless's house, and that's where we had, I think, our coronation. And then we had a battle game in their backyard, and then kind of this field behind their house.
Hmm.
And we were using their fenced-in yard as the castle, and we were trying to siege the castle. And I decided that would be my first opportunity to actually try to be an archer and use a bow and arrow. And I ended up slapping myself right on my forearm and cut myself so bad that it hurt and it stung, but it was dark outside and I couldn't see. and we get inside of Archimedes' house after the game. We've all had fun, and it's award time, and my arm is just covered in blood, and I'm dripping it on our carpet. And I was like, I'm so sorry. And it was just this little bitty cut from the bow and that had slapped my arm. And then after that, we had feast, and I ate crunchy mashed potatoes, and we laughed and had fun. And but it was just that battle game of just being at their house and everybody having fun and screaming in the dark and neighbors turning on their lights going, what is going on? That's probably that's one of my favorite memories.
See, unfortunately, Sir Smiley, you were too young to play Archer.
That's it right there. I was too young.
So yeah,
I hadn't hit my retirement age yet.
right there you go. All right. Miranda would like to know if you could give us your favorite memory before you were a knight.
My favorite memory before I was a knight. I think that's probably going to be when I became Barrack's squire, and that's because we were doing Friday night magic at the church I was pastoring at. We went to the parking lot, and it was smoke break time for everybody. I kept talking to him, and he threw the squire's belt at me and hit me in the mouth with the ring, and I became his squire. And so that's one we've laughed about a lot. Oh, I don't know if you lost me or I lost you, but I think Kodiak's face is frozen. That's not good. Let me log into the Facebook world and see what happened. Hey, look, it is just me. I'm taking over Kingdom of Kodiak. This is where we decide exactly how we're going to get him to shave his beard and raise money for St. Jude's Hospital. What do you guys think? So leave your comments below because I'm following now on my phone. Isn't that awesome? So that's what we're going to do now. So how do we get him to shave his beard? And how much money do you think we should raise until he does so? Anybody? Anybody? Come on, Kato. I see you watching. Annabelle Lee, I see you there too. Come on. Sib, I see you. I see you there too. Yeah. What do you think? I think $100 and he shaves his beard. All donated to St. Jude's Hospital. What do you think? Yeah? I think it's a good idea. The question is where did he go? So when he comes back, we're gonna have to announce to him that I guess this is now the KOS, Kingdom of Smiley. And is this how we take over? Is this how we take over Dragonspine? Is this how Burning Lands invades or something? Or we do a role play? I don't know. Like, how does this work? I'm new to this. Somebody help me out. All right. If he doesn't get 100 guests, he needs to shave. Oh, down there. That's a good one. So we're at 15 guests right now. 43 minutes into the feed. Francis has the trimmer and the shave cream and razors. We can do this. Oh, Kodiak, you have a power outage. Well, that's good because we are going to officially shave your beard. We are going to drive you over here to Alamogordo. We'll bring you in the shop. And Francis says he has all the stuff to shave your beard. That's what we're going to do. So who wants to commit the first $5 to St. Jude's Hospital? Anybody? 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 Official online raid. That's a pretty good idea. So you're welcome to try. That's awesome. Now I'm getting all kinds of messages too. So I got a $100 cash donation right now. That's it. Kodiak, you got to shave, man. If you're watching on your phone, you got to shave. So that's what's going to happen. All right, somebody shoot a message to Kodiak, and we'll see how we get him back on here so we can get him to commit to shaving his beard. So let's see. All right, man, look at this. If DS and Burning Lands can combine for $500, he's in. So wait. All right, Kodiak. If that's the case, can we take outside donations outside of Dragonspine and Burning Lands? That's my question. Because right now we're at 120, 125, 175, 190, 100, so we had 195. So we're already over the 200 mark for those who have said they're going to be donating. So double that. So so Cato, if we have this right, if we double that, if we get $1,000 raised, not only will Kodiak shave his beard at 500, but you will shave yours at 1,000. See, look at this. We're doing good tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Looking at 225 right now combined. Thanks, Francis. So I think we can do this. We need to go ahead and set up the fundraiser page, and we can get some videos and stuff going on. So now, Kodiak, here's the other question. I don't want to completely hijack your feed this entire time, but is it possible you're going to be coming back in on this feed, or do we need to do something different? Cato and Kodiak, beard shaped. St. Jude's Hospital. Man, what a way to end 2020. Such a horrible year to end on something so positive that we would see the naked chins of Cato and Kodiak for a good cause. 1,000 on top. So, Cato, you're saying 1,500, or are you saying just to double the 500 in general? He is trying. Okay. Thanks, Annabelle. Well, if anybody has any other questions or things they would like to know while I'm sitting here by myself in my shop, feel free to ask. Naked chins. Yeah, I thought it was funny too. Oh, we already got donate $45 total to mine at 50. All right, Cassio, you're amazing. She's one of the best prime ministers ever. My beard is worth 1,000. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. If we raise 1,000, though, are you gonna shave it? That's the question. Can I invite you back? You are gonna have to walk me through how to invite you back, brother. Let's see here. I guess I could send that to you in Messenger, right? All right. Everyone hang tight. And I'm going to see if I can get Kodiak back in. Boop, 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 boop. All right, Kodiak, I sent an invite link to you on your Messenger. Tell us a little bit about House Illuminati. I can't. Sorry, Cato. But rumor has it you know that. And I'm still frowning because you haven't let me in. So, remember, you got to tell me more. Maybe you should tell the audience more in the comments, unless you think you might get in trouble by the special ones. Oh, look, he's back.
Hey, welcome to Kingdom of Kodiak. I'm Kodiak.
Woo! So we had Kingdom of Smiley for a little while. It was weird. You're going to have to shave your beard. You know that now, right?
What are we at?
I think, Francis, what are we at? Francis is 270 right now.
Okay.
We're at 270. Cato said if his beard's worth 1,000, so we could be shaving 2 beards for raising funds for St. Jude's Children's Hospital.
I'm here for it.
So I'll tell you what, if we can get any donations, AmpGuard wide, for any kingdom in AmpGuard can donate to it. If we get over $3,000, I will shave my mustache.
Holy, oh man!
I'll do it. $3,000, St. Jude's Children's Hospital. Not only that, but Kodiak will shave his beard, Cato will shave his beard, and I will shave my mustache. It will happen.
Hey, let's not just make this a fundraiser. Let's make this a challenge. AmpGuard, reach
All
out.
right.
Do this.
Yeah, absolutely. AmpGuard, do it. If we
do it.
Let's start something at the end of 2020 that we can definitely say is amazing. I have no problems shaving on. We'll do an entire video feed. Me, Cato, and Kodiak, none of us live too far from each other. We can figure out how to social distance, mask up, and do everything properly. we can make a whole slew of it. So, all right, if we do this, see what happens on Kingdom of Kodiak, ladies and gentlemen. This is what you should watch.
Hey.
So if we do this, we got to put a time frame on it, right?
Mhm.
So by when do we have to have when do we cut off fundraising? When do we cut it off?
Oh, that's interesting. I would want to say by Jan 1, but that seems really quick. That's a quick turnaround.
That's a quick turnaround, and we're right in the Christmas season. That might be a little hard.
Okay, all right. I have a nightly chat in 4 weeks from now.
Okay.
Is that too short still?
To get to the 3.
To 3 is 4 weeks too, or should we? I need to know. I need to know here. Okay.
Well, hey, we got plenty of people commenting. What does our audience think?
Cato thinks February sounds good.
So the end of February. Okay.
Cassio says New Year. So Cassio is odd with the 1-1 here.
Kaya says 2 weeks.
Oh, 2 weeks. Yeah. Okay.
Valentine's Day. Oh.
Okay. All right.
I see what you did there. Valentine's Day challenge. All right, there we go. The Valentine's Day facial hair massacre.
There we go.
So by Valentine's Day, if $500 is raised, yes. See, my wife's telling everybody my birthday now. So by Valentine's Day, if $500 is raised, you'll shave your beard.
Yep.
Cato, confirm for me. If $1,000 is raised, you'll shave your beard. And if $3,000 is raised, I'll shave my mustache. Does that sound right? Who's in?
I'm in.
I don't even see like any emoji reactions here. Everybody's just like in shock, I guess. I don't know what's happening.
That's a lot of facial hair being removed from bodies, and
2021 romancing the beard. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good one. Bromancing the beard. Francis, man, this is why I love you, brother. Oh my goodness. Confirmed. Look at all these likes now.
Confirmed.
Now you guys need to go share this so people can hear about it. We only got 15 people watching. How many more people in other kingdoms like Iron Mountains, Golden Plains, Emerald Hills, West March? What about Nine Blades, Viridian Outlands? You guys need to share this now so they can get in on the fun. That's what we got to do. So,
all right. Well, Sir Smiley, thank you for covering me while the power is out.
Oh, you're very welcome.
And we started something great here, so let's keep building on it with more questions.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So you were talking about your favorite memory before you were a knight. Did you let the audience know about that, and I missed it?
I did. So I was letting everybody know, but you look like this. It was great. So to bring you in up to speed, my favorite memory before I was a knight I was when I became Bear Rug's squire. And so it was a Friday night magic night, and it's smoke break for everybody. And I've been talking to him about trying to become a squire for a while. And we're out in the parking lot. We get by his truck. He opens his truck door, and I'm still talking. And I can't remember what we're talking about, but he says, "Hey," and he throws the squire's belt at me, and to make me a squire. And when he does, the ring hits me right in my teeth. And so he hits me in the teeth, and I kind of catch it. I was like, "Oh man, that hurts so bad." And he's like, "Yeah, welcome to being my squire." Man, I'm so sorry. I can't keep a straight face. Are you okay? Like, I'm so sorry. Like, that's not what I meant to do. And lo and behold, I got to become his squire at that point. And by far one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life in Amtgard was being his squire. So
fantastic. I'm glad I got to come back to that. Thank you so much for that.
I did lose that squire belt later. Like, I mean, physically, I lost it. It was never recovered. But
man. All right. Last question before we start talking about your knighthood specifically.
Okay.
Miranda would like to know, what was Sir Tristan like before he was Sir Tristan?
I believe if we look at the Amped Wiki, Sir Tristan definitely was playing before I started playing.
Hmm.
We may have crossed paths at a gathering of the clans at some point in time. But it's also possible he may have been knighted before I started playing.
He was knighted in, I believe, '94, if I'm correct.
Yes,
Sword Knight.
I think that's right. Tristan, I don't know if you're watching. Kaya, I don't know if you know that information off the top of your head either. As I know you're there, but um, uh, I don't. I have no idea. Couldn't even tell you. Really, we met for the first time, I think, in 2018 at the gathering,
Oh, okay.
and got to talk and sit at the shop and just kind of get to know each other a little bit there. Jubei was the one who introduced us. So
That's, man, Tristan Smiley, just be a fly on the wall though. That
oh, it's always been fun. He has rescued me plenty of times at an event, here or there to make sure that I at least had some downtime. So
okay. All right. So we're going to talk about knighthood. The first question in your knighthood category, I lied a little bit. Doesn't have to do with you. Uh, what has been your favorite knighting to attend?
my favorite knighting to attend. Oh man. Um, my favorite knighting to attend. I'm going to say it's going to be my wife's knighting, but that hasn't happened yet. So um, there's some really good ones out there, man. Prob- Probably it was Thurg's Sweet Teas. Just he's like me and Francis. We have a connection through Dark Oasis, and him starting over there and um, watching him play the game and do just some of the amazing stuff that he's done, and get his masterhood in one kingdom, and then come over to Emerald Hills and keep pushing and keep doing and keep pushing and keep doing, and then there's anybody will tell you as you're on those paths and you're squired to somebody and you're working on it, there's highs and lows and ups and downs, and just to see that come together, I think it was my favorite one because I mean that man is my brother. I mean
Hmm.
he's my brother in life, and I would literally take a bullet for that man. And so that was just an overjoy to do that. Plus, I got one of my knighting gifts to him was actually a branding iron. That was the letter T.
Oh, cool.
So I have no idea how he's used that so far. But then just seeing all of his friends around him, his company bros in the Black Cross, as excited as they were, Sir Ice, giving the speech and making it all the pomp and circumstance to knight him. It was one of those things that was just kind of a spectacle to see, but had that personal connection at the same time. And so that's probably my favorite one that I've been to.
Cool. That's awesome. Tell us about your knighting.
Which one?
Which one would you like to tell us about?
I don't know. This ain't my show. I took over for like 5 minutes, man. This is your
Hey,
turn now.
you didn't ask any questions. You just answered yours. Uh,
Hey, man, I started an entire fundraiser for us. Okay, what have you done recently?
oh, I mean, it's my beard.
Okay, fair. um, I don't. I guess I can talk about them both. Neither one of them. I didn't have a vigil at either one of my nights. I didn't know about either one of my nights. I was ninja knighted on both of them.
Okay.
And so the first one was kind of hilarious because we're at our kingdom event. I want to say this is mid reign. Barug, who's my knight, is also king at the time, and my wife knows that I'm getting knighted. Sweet Tea Thurg, he knows I'm getting knighted, and he's actually living some time, and he's making my night scroll. But I'm keeping him up till like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning before I go to bed. And apparently, for a few months or a couple months, once I went to bed, he'd be like, "Yeah, I'm crashing out too." Well, he'd get up and keep working. When I wake up in the morning, he was exhausted, so he kept sleeping. And I just kept ragging. I was like, "Man, you're so lazy. You just won't ever get up or nothing." And he's just like, Liz, like my wife will tell you, "Hey, yeah, Chris wanted to kill him. He he was so mad at him." But I had no idea. We didn't think we were going to make the event. We didn't have the finances. We told people, hey, we're not going to be able to be there. People pulled through to make sure we could go. My Phoebe, when people get knighted and she has the opportunity, her knighting gift is actually a knight's cake. And so she'll do a full fondant knight's cake for people. And kind of, you get to have your cake and eat it too. So when she first thought of this idea, she was like, well, I need to do a test cake. So what would you get knighted for? And I was like, well, it would be, I have a Master Rose. It'd be flame. Well, let's see what yours would look like. No, she's actually making my gift in front of me, and I have no idea. I'm completely oblivious. And I'm like, oh, no, it looks great. She's like, I can't wait till we show you your knight. And I was like, oh, yeah, so we got to take it to the event. I was like, do we really have to? Like, he lives in the same town with us. Do we have to? Just, well, I want to. And I was like, all right, fine, pack it up. And we went over there. So she shows it to him. Now he's mad because she's been making it because he thinks that I'm going to know now. And so it's been this whole, everybody's trying to keep it from me. Everybody's doing stuff in front of my eyes. I have no clue. I'm oblivious to all of it. We get to the event and I'm just working, man. I have, jobs that I'm doing at our event. We have, it's a corn maze we're at over there, and they have a potato cannon. And so I'm going to man the potato cannon. Then I come back and I'm going to man the little hay bale maze. And then I got to go man the gate booth. And unbeknownst to me, Barrug is gathering everybody to hold this court to knight me. So he keeps going to where I'm supposed to be, but I've already left to go to the next one. And so it's like this whole Scooby-Doo thing going on the whole time. And finally, I guess Phoebe can tell you the story better, but I think Barrug ends up grabbing her. It's like, you got to get him in one spot. This is ridiculous. I'm getting mad. And so they finally catch me over at the potato cannon, and Barrug gathers everybody together. It's like, yeah, we're going to do this thing. We're holding this court. And it's like, sure. So I kind of help him get stuff ready. And I'm sitting back, and he's announcing stuff, and I have no idea, but I know we have other guys in line to get knighted as well. And so I'm the Kingdom Prime Minister at the time, and I was like, okay, so who's getting knighted? And I'm like, oh, it's going to be Hrothgar. Yeah. And so at the time I was a smoker, and so was Hrothgar. I was like, hey man, let me bum a cigarette from you. So I bum a cigarette. So I grab his pack and stuff to get it out of his hands. And I light the cigarette, and as soon as I do, Barrug goes, and would Smiley come before the court? And I'm like, what? What's happening? And so I have to give him everything back and come up and get knighted. And my company tunic got stolen thanks to my wife. She stole it and gave it to Archimedes, so Archimedes could use it as the symbol, as a pattern to make my surcoat. And I thought Thurg and the Black Cross had stolen it because we always had this little rivalry between the Archangels and Black Cross. And so after I got knighted, Archimedes walks up and she's like, I'm the one who stole it. And then my wife goes, actually, I stole it and gave it to her. And I was like, no wonder Chris has hated me for like 3 months now. So that was my knighting. And then that night we had these carnival games and got to go around, and Serenity made me a company tunic. And then we had a game and I won another tunic and so she made me this Golden Plains tunic as well. And the belt was beautiful. Thurg's the scroll that he made for me was fantastic. The knight's chain that was given was gorgeous. So it was a really memorable, fun moment, and tons of comedy that obviously was would go the whole time. So, but that's my flame belt. And so, if you want me to share my crown belt, I can do that. But
please do, absolutely.
Well, so my crown belt, we moved to Emerald Hills, and eventually I got to be king of Emerald Hills, and I had already served 2 years as the Kingdom Prime Minister in Golden Plains. So by the point system that we used to have, I was eligible for a crown belt. And a lot of people say, like, well, until you do something here, really want to see what you can do compared to what you did in the kingdom you came from. And that makes sense. If I'm going to be a knight of this kingdom, we want to see what you can do. So eventually become king, and then step out of office and serve on our board of directors. And then it's, life happens and finances aren't what they were. And we had to move over here to Alamogordo. And so we announced and made this post online, we're moving. And, that went out to a lot of people, and of all people, Sir Forrest, he saw that. And I mean, by our Kapora, I think they had like a week or something to put somebody on the docket to vote on them. And so he saw that and he was like, no, we can't do it. We can't let him leave and not knighting. So I don't know. And this time, Phoebe doesn't know either. So
Okay. All right.
um, I'm the autocrat for the last event, and that was the coronation that was going to be there. And so, um, if I remember correctly, um, if you're watching, correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to say Amethyst Panther was stepping down, and Cal was stepping up to his second reign, um, if I remember that right. And so I ended up autocrating and doing this stuff. We have these two different court settings. Cal has this Mad Max theme going on, and Sir Isis and Fenton have helped set those things up and rent some things for that. And so now we're trying to set up what court would look like for Amethyst Panther, and there's nothing over there. So I get in the trail, and I was like, fine. Everybody's kind of frustrated. So I finally set up everything. Unbeknownst to me, I'm setting up everything for my knighting. That's what they made me do. I'm decorating and putting up banners for my knighting. And they're like, well, what if you do this over here? What if you set up the banner like this? I bet it'll look better here. And I'm like, sure, whatever. And so they tricked me into setting up all the pomp and circumstance for my own knighting, unbeknownst to me. And just a few hours before it takes place, they finally tell Phoebe, and she's like, are you kidding me? And so they told her she has an idea. I don't. They gather all the knights before the court. I know we've already talked about Bjorn and getting knighted, so I'm thinking we're about to knight Bjorn. Just nobody told me. We've had our meeting, so I'm like, oh, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna ninja knight Bjorn. This is awesome. And Forrest gets up and he gives a speech and he talks about leaving, and we can't let this guy leave without recognizing him for the work he's done between two kingdoms now, and he doesn't need to go somewhere else and start all over. And I'm kind of like, wait, leaving? Bjorn's not leaving. Bjorn's not moving anywhere. I'm leaving. And he's like, so with Cervantes, with Smiley come before the court. And I'm just in shock that there's actually video of it. Sir Wolverine actually pushes me to the court, so I'll get up there. And so Forrest drops the sword, and they've done this amazing night scroll that actually has my face on the night scroll, and it's actually right over there on one of my top shelves. But they did all that, and then here comes Sir Ice and Sir Fenton, and Ice asked me if I accept to be buffeted, and I'm like, yes. Which then he calls for a poncho. They cover me in a poncho. Phoebe's smart enough to get my glasses and my knight's chain off of me, and they have made this disgusting whipped cream filled pie with the Dark Rider symbol on it, because I'm a Dark Rider and I can't see because I'm blind without my glasses, so I have no idea what it looks like, and they pie me in the face. And that's how my knighting ended on that day. So my eyes were burning, I was crying, we were moving, and I got elevated to Knight of the Crown. And so it was just a fun moment.
A little side story, if I could, please. You were also the only anti-paladin that was there when Dame Annabelle Lee got knighted.
That's right. I forgot about that.
So I run up to you, and I'm like, Sir Smiley, we need anti-paladin to perform the rites of an anti-paladin. I don't know if it's done internationally, but at least in Dragonspine.
I'm like, yeah, sure, man, whatever.
I send Locke across the street to go get ice cream because that is a requirement for their ceremony. And then Locke tries to hand Dame Annabelle Lee the ice cream directly.
Yeah.
And I remember Smiley.
No, sir.
That is not your duty. And
very seriously.
Right. That was one of my memories of you and Ada knighting, but not your knighting. But that's fine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the funny thing is I got to tell Annabelle Lee that too at her knighting is, all of us started in Dark Oasis and Hobbs. And so when you look back at all of those early players that are still active and playing the game today, she was the last one that did not that was not a knight yet. And so and if anybody's watching from Dark Oasis and I'm wrong on that, please correct me. But I want to say that's what it was. And so her getting knighted meant the likes of her and Francis and myself and Monkey and Draven, Drake, Archimedes. The list goes on of those who have stayed active all these years. She's the last one of that original group to be elevated to knighthood. So,
and we're happy to have her.
Yeah, she's fun.
She is. It's a lot of fun. My aunt mom, but that's
nice.
Point. This isn't about me. This is about Sir Smiley. Moving on.
So let me ask you some questions, Kodiak.
Oh, sure.
No, I'm kidding. Go on.
All right. How many belt families have you been part
of? Who asked that question?
No.
So technically, I'm in a lot of belted families. Before knighthood in the belted family is obviously Kamal's belt line is the one that I'm in through my knight of Barug. Before that, I'd been in Quicksilver's belt line for a short period of time under Denovis. I was Denovis's man at arms for a bit. I was in Sir Hearn's belt line because I was Rothgar's man at arms when he was a squire for about a week and a half, and then was told, "Hey, this I don't know if this is how this is going to work out." So that switched out. I was in Sir Nikita's belt line, and Archimedes was squired to her, if I remember that correctly. And I was Archimedes' page, and that was the first belt line I was ever in. And so those are the belt lines I was in for them. After knighting, I am I'm in a lot of belt lines, a whole lot of belt lines. I'm in I think I'm in Tigger and Forest's Evergreen's belt line. I believe I share a belt line now with Sir Ice as well, and that belt line. I'm in Boots, Sir Boots's belt line as a man at arms, I think. In that one, or maybe maybe I'm a page in that one, and then we figured out that I'm actually in Imhog's belt line as a man at arms to someone else. So. The one belt I don't have right now is a squire's belt. So
okay.
Anybody want to make me a squire? I'm a page, I'm a man at arms, I'm a knight. I mean, if anybody's looking for a good squire, I'll take it.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about your squires.
Yes.
The question, why the million squires?
They're a security team. That's it. No. So that wasn't supposed to be that way. Originally it was I always had about 2 squires for the longest time, and then both of them became inactive and weren't playing anymore. And so then I ended up taking on a couple of more people, and then they came active again, and then things just kept happening. And so eventually that led to getting to where I have 12 squires now. So that's long story short, that is what's happened. But I do remember a long time ago, and I can't remember if I read this like on one of the articles that was put on ESAM, or if I was talking to somebody and it was advice that they gave, but it was talking about squires and knights taking on squires. And it's like, how many squires can a knight have? And depending on where you were, that, differed. Mm-hmm. And so somebody made the comment that I remember was a knight should be able to take on as many squires as they feel they can handle. And so 12 is 100% my limit. But at the same time, 2 of those squires are inactive. So technically it's only 10 active squires.
Well, I mean, there it is. Like, you're way under your budget at that point.
Yeah. So, I mean, and they're all amazing. So I'm glad to have them.
So the question has to be asked: with 10 active squires, how do you manage all of them?
So all of them will tell you, I tell them all the same thing, that they're grown adults and they can take care of themselves. If they can't, they don't need to be my squire. And so that's how I manage them. I'll talk back and forth. I'll give advice. They may hit something at some point in time and ask advice. Me and Cal have talked back and forth about being king. Me and Bloodwood have talked back and forth about him being king as well. me and Uther will have gone back and forth on service and what that looks like. It's just, we have some conversations, but it's definitely, if you're going to be on a squire, you have to be able to take care of yourself, because this is a point of either A, you're always going to be a squire and that's what you want because you don't want knighthood, or B, you're looking at knighthood and this is where you can take care of yourself. If you're going to be my man-at-arms or page, then I'm going to hold your hand. I'm going to really help you. We're going to correct a whole lot of things. If you're going to be my squire, then it's at a point that you should be really close to already going, I can handle myself. I may need a bit of advice here and there.
Okay.
So.
I'm giggling a little bit because Sir Francis decided to hit me in a private message, but it doesn't say private from Kingdom of Kodiak. Sir Francis is taking applications for anyone who's listening.
Can you message Sir Francis back and just be like, hey, I know a guy named Smiley.
Okay.
He might be willing to be a squire.
You know what? He's in the chat, but I'll also reach out to him afterwards. I'll put in a good word for you. I hear you do good charity runs and whatnot.
Yeah. I'll give him my resume as if he doesn't know it. Sure.
Okay, big time question here. Stillhat wants to know, and typically, I don't let the knights walk away from this question.
I'm walking away.
Rank your squires.
Rank my squires?
Yep.
All right. All of them are number 2.
There it is.
All of them are number 2. At least that's what I tell all of them.
Fantastic. Miranda would like to know, why is Muse not number 1?
Because he's number 2.
There it is. Who does number 2 work for? Sir Smiley. That's who number
That's
2 works for.
That's right.
There was 2 questions that were asked, and I wasn't sure where they should go, but I feel like it has something to do with your knighthood or your belt line. Why do you insist on self-torture, and why the pamphlet?
Good old Wulfric. So Wulfric has come a long way because he has had a lot of problems. And he'll be the first to tell you that too. And I'm very, very proud of him, of the progress and work he's done in his own life to become a better person than what he was. But to give background, I'm at the gathering. I think I'm working gate, and Wulfric's working gate. I was our gateocrat. At Gotzi, my belt line has run gate for 6-7 years straight now. Mm-hmm. It's either been me or Colin Maccabee, who's one of my other squires as well, that have usually run gate. And so Wulfric's there, he signed up, and we're talking, and I don't know him from the hole in the ground, and I'm not even sure if he even knows who I am. And so we're talking back and forth, and somehow the conversation gets to a point of, I'll pick you up as a page, man. That's fine, no problem. If you can make your own belt and show me you've made your own belt, I'll take it as a page. In my head, I'm thinking, either this kid's going to go home and make a page belt and find me on Facebook and be like, I made it. I'm like, cool, man. And we'll connect, and I'll try to help you ever I can. Mm-hmm. Nope. He makes it on site within 24 hours. Yellow belt, smiley faces on it, chainmail, part of it already together in links, and shows me this belt as we're sitting in line and everything to eat lunch at Gotzi. And he's like, I was like, are you serious? And I was like, well, that's what I told him. And so DRC actually has pictures on her on her page of me giving him his belt and wrapping it around him, and then taking pictures with part of our belt line while he's right there too. And so he was an eager guy, and now I wouldn't say it's torture. And he's no longer a pamphlet. We have promoted him to man-at-arms, and so my other 2 man-at-arms gave the thumbs up, and so that's where he's at now. But it's been a fun ride with him, and I'll leave it at that for anybody who's already in the know. You understand?
Okay. Yep. Okay. Stillhat would like to know, how do you pick people for your belt line?
Well, honestly, at first, that was really by relationship, how close I'd become to somebody, or if I thought I'd saw some great potential in someone. I had no problems asking. Later, that really became more people would ask me than vice versa.
Mhm.
Recently, one of the ones that I got to ask was Jonathan Hawkmoon, who's actually in Kings Point out of Emerald Hills. And his background is in HFS, and he was a knight in HFS and everything over there too. And so got to meet him and talk to him, and I offered him a squire's belt, and he turned me down. And I was like, oh man, but he has some really great leadership quality. He has the ability to teach people how to fight. He was passionate to make sure people had fun while they were playing. And I was just like, this is a guy that I'd love to just hang out with more and have in my belt line. And so I asked, and I said, well, the opportunity is always open. And a year later, we got to know each other far, far better than we did that at that point. And he came and he goes, well, is that squire's belt still open? I said, absolutely, man. And so he had to be there. Or you look at Cal. Cal's a really good example that he had been playing for about a year, and we were talking, and I can't remember how the conversation actually went, but we were talking about it. I said, man, I would make you my man at arms in a heartbeat. And he's older than I am, not by much. I don't want to make him feel bad. But he has that wisdom. He has background in airsoft events and stuff and running those things. And so I was just like, this guy really impresses me. But usually it's in that aspect. I have to have a personal conversation and just, if I feel a gut feeling that, yeah, this is a good call, or this is somebody I think would be good for our belt line. Either I ask or eventually they ask me, one of the two.
Okay. Now this might be a controversial question. You don't have to name names, but if you could give us a scenario, is there a regret of giving a belt to anyone?
A regret of giving a belt to anyone. Let me think here. No, actually, I mean, there are people that have dropped my belts that I've given them, and the only two I can think of actually is Thurg. Thurg was my man at arms, and when I was a squire, and that got dropped not out of anything horrible. It was my knight wanted him as a squire, and so he goes, "Would you be okay?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, absolutely." So we became squire brothers at that point. Cool. And then the other is Uther, and Uther. I'd moved into Texas, and we had grown too far apart, and so we'd always talked to each other and been very, very forthcoming with each other in that aspect. That if this ever needs to happen that way, then yes, this is what we would do. And so as we talked back and forth, that was the decision made. And he still stayed in our belt line, but he went under my squire brother Otto and became his squire. And then years later, the full circle come around. He's already been knighted with Knight of the Crown, and we're talking to each other at the gathering. And and I've always told him, come back to the belt line, I'll still make you a squire. So now he's my squire again for the Flame Path, and so that's how that one came back about. But all of them, even in those scenarios, all of them have been great learning experiences. Amazing friendships have been built. I can't think of anybody in my belt line that it's not been a really good growing relationship of somebody that I love to be around and like to have, regardless of what situation we're in. So I can't think of anything negative.
Okay. So now we're getting to a part of the conversation that if it was just you and I could probably go for a bit, because I know we have warring opinions on this. What part of being, in your mundane life, you are a preacher. What part of being a preacher makes you want to play anti-paladin?
What part of being a preacher makes me want to play anti-paladin? I don't know if anything about being a pastor or preacher makes me want to play anti-paladin.
That's fair.
What makes me want to play anti-paladin is it's the better class between anti-paladin and paladin.
That's fair. Yep.
Just legitimately, it's the better class to play. And then two, I don't know. I like playing in battle games and trying to make sure people have fun. And usually in that aspect, people having fun is you get to be a little chaotic when you're playing that class if you're role playing. And so in that's what I enjoy to do and try to make it better that way. And instead of playing this white knight and shining armor, this paladin, and as an anti-paladin, you can be like, yeah, you could do that. or you could steal the relic and hide it from everyone else, knowing that you're the person that can't win the game with it.
Right. Right.
So,
All right. So that was the lead in to should paladin and anti-paladin be open to the populace?
yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I see no reason why it shouldn't.
Okay.
In every aspect, if we're going to if we're going to talk about ourselves as a live action role playing game,
Mm-hmm.
every other role playing game that's out there that offers paladin and anti paladin, you don't have to meet a set requirement before you play that class. You can also look back and even in historical pieces and stuff like that, you can say, well, only a knight could be a paladin. Yeah, I guess it depends on what fantasy genre you're reading. I guess it depends on what historical context you're reading and what they would call themselves. Do we have pieces to where people could consider themselves paladins because of the riches they had? Yeah. Or maybe you have somebody like a Don Quixote that was he really a knight? No, but the whole story is he is. So at what point is knighthood the one thing that's going to keep people from a role-playing class?
Okay.
And if you're doing a role-playing class, then I see no reason why the rest of the populace can't have access to it. Should we have stuff like the, the White Phoenix and Black Phoenix be reserved for knighthoods? Sure, that doesn't bother me. We can do that. That's fine. If you have like a look the part bonus and you can't get that unless you're a knight, sure, that's fine. I mean, unless I have some either really good money or really good skills, I usually can't get the good look the part bonus on everything else either. So there's caveats, and so that's fine. I think all those things are there. The only argument really at this point is to leave paladin, anti-paladin away from the populace as a whole. Really comes down to only tradition and having knights be able to have something that's on the field in role playing aspect. But again, none of our classes that we role play actually lead us to knighthood at all. And so I don't, why would we have a class then that's only reserved for knighthood when that has nothing to do with getting us there?
So not to make this a debate, there's already been talk in the COM of trying to provide a battle game based knighthood, but that's a separate conversation.
Yeah.
I have started voicing an opinion that sure, paladin anti-paladin be free, but all classes have something for knights. If you become a knight, you get an archetype bonus of some variety. It would be similar to Look the Part, where and then all classes are available, but there's still a reason people try to ascend to that level so that they could get the next perk in their class.
Yeah, I think that's a weak argument though. Because if that's what you're using for people to ascend to that level for knighthood, then are we really then to the argument of why we think knights are knights for the reasons that we say they are?
Well, I'm only doing that opportunity as a concession to not opening them at all.
If that's the compromising concession, I can live with that.
Okay.
I think that can be fine. I mean, steps have got to be made at some point in time, right? And I think that's a perfectly good compromise and okay. As a knight, I mean, I'd prefer not to get any extra bonuses in anything. We look at knights as the leaders of our game in service orientated aspects. A sword knight becomes a sword knight not because they're a warlord, but because of what they're doing with other people on the fields, of how they're teaching, educating, pushing forward, better fighting styles and stuff within inside of their kingdoms. Serpent knights become serpent knights because of what they're doing in their artistic abilities, not just because they have a masterhood, but because of what they're teaching. So the game as a whole becomes better. Flame knights become flame knights because, I don't know, I picked up a lot of trash, I guess. But no, I'm kidding. Not because of the masterhood we have, but because we're doing service. And sometimes it's sacrificial service that just people don't think about half the time, or people don't want to do. So you're doing it. Your crown knights are no different. We sit in leadership positions and get called all kinds of idiot type names because we can ban people now, and we either made the right decision or we didn't make the right decision, or we don't understand how the game actually works, or we're not representing everybody fair enough. But Now you don't get to being a crown knight because you have a masterhood or you have all the crown points, but it becomes the quality of the character of the person.
Sure.
And none of those have anything to do with the role playing, class system of which we have in our game.
Okay.
And so in that part, at least now as a knight, I can step on the field if paladin and anti-paladin is open to everybody, and I'm no longer just this look at me, I'm a knight and I've done great things. I can now step into the rest of the populace and say we are all equals. We are all exactly the same right here, right now, to have fun and do something together in a unison that honestly, as human beings, we need. And so that's why I'm highly for the two classes being open up to everyone.
Okay. All right. We've already agreed to disagree. We've agreed to agree. I think there was a compromise on this one at one point, but
Yeah, I mean, I'll take the compromise, the caveat. The Knights can get all that, but I don't think we need it.
okay.
But I'm perfectly okay if that's the way it goes.
Sure. Okay. That's all of the serious questions, kind of. I don't know how these funny questions go when when anyone asks them, because sometimes when we talk about a taco being a sandwich or vice versa, it gets heated. So
I'm just saying, man.
let's start off with: do you remember where you were when the mustache got knighted?
No, I was probably asleep full of Benadryl when it happened, and so now I just hear the legends and the stories, and it stays attached to me.
Mm. It's a sad circumstance when you can't remember it. But Stillhat would like to know, what is your favorite dad joke?
Oh, my favorite. Oh gosh. Phoebe posted dad joke, so I can share it. Um, what is my favorite dad joke? Um, Darn it! Now I can't think of any good dad jokes.
Well, you got until the end of this funny questions to come in, or we're gonna have to bump it down to 2,800 for the. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Yes. If you turn it sideways.
There you go. It's not even about the bread being broken on the hot dog anymore. It's just how you hold it.
Yeah, I mean it's the same. I mean, think about it. You go to Subway.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the bread's not cut all the way through. It's still a sub sandwich.
There it is. Okay. Is cereal just breakfast soup?
No, I think it is a more liquid form of oatmeal.
Which we've agreed upon that, yeah, okay. Is oatmeal a stew, just as a reference from last week?
Only if you heat it up. I think stew has to be warm. I think if it's like, well, I had cold stew. You didn't have cold stew. You had like cold chicken broth and whatever else is in there, but it's not stew.
So. Okay. All right. Are mashed potatoes just Irish guacamole?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Is custard still ice cream, and does Lord Tajima deserve it?
Only if it comes from Kalichi's would I consider that it's ice cream. And no, he doesn't deserve it. It's a privilege, not a right.
Tajima, take that. Is ramen just weeb spaghetti?
Oh, dang. No, man. If you've gone to some good ramen restaurants, I'm gonna have to say no.
There's one in El Paso.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, it only seats like 25 people, and the bowls are like this big around, and you can get it super spicy. It's got all the
bro, we gotta go sometime.
Absolutely, I'm there.
That's a trip now.
I'm there. Still, I would like to know, how many languages do you speak?
None. Well,
I mean, that's fair.
Just one.
Okay.
That's it. Just English, I suppose. And then I don't know, Liz. My wife might tell you that I speak like Smiley E's or something.
Yeah. I've been known to have Kodiakisms, so
that's right.
That works. Right. Still, would also like to know, Star Wars or Star Trek?
Currently Star Trek.
Okay.
I have to say currently Star Trek, but I think it's because I've just recently gotten into Star Trek. Okay. We haven't watched the original series yet. We tried. We got like 2 episodes in, and we were just like, we can't. So we started watching the Next Generation, or no, we started watching Enterprise. We've watched all of Enterprise. We've watched all of the Next Generation, and we're going through Deep Space Nine right now. So we're on the final season of Deep Space Nine. So Randall, I won't spoil anything for you out there if you haven't watched it yet. But we also watched all of Picard as well. So,
Okay.
and it's pretty exciting. There's just more content because it's all of a TV series than Star Wars as the movies. But I like them.
A slight humble brag here. I'm in gaming with Sir Randall, Dame Azrael Jade, Sir Sane, Sir Anatole, and they were like Star Trek Next Gen, and I watched the first 3 seasons. I was like, is this Will Wheaton's the main character? Is that what's going on here? Because
Yeah.
I
Oh man, just wait until he dies.
oh, well, oh wow. I don't know if I could. I just had to finish Supernatural this year. I don't know if I can watch Will
You
Wheaton.
can't.
I'm still working through that right now.
That's fair. That's fair.
Okay, so what's your favorite carbonated drink?
Root beer.
Okay, and why? Why are you obsessed with root beer?
Because it's good and it comes in so many different forms. Like you can have root beer that has wintergreen in it,
Mm-hmm.
or you can have root beer that's like made out of sarsaparilla. You can have root beer that's like black licorice based, really heavy. You can have Gale's root beer, which is my favorite. If anybody is looking for a Christmas present that might live close in Las Cruces, that might be named or sound like Odiak, and would like to find me Gale's root beer,
Okay.
it's a ginger cinnamon based root beer, and or you have like Bundaberg's Australian root beer that has kind of a mixture of the sarsaparilla with a little bit of black licorice inside of that to put it all together. There's just this large quantities, and it's something that there's enough recipes out there that you can find online that you can make your own root beer at home. I can't make my own Coca-Cola at home. They won't give me the recipe.
All right. Okay. Obsession seems like the right word after you went that far. So okay. Dame Annabelle Lee would like to ask why are you so sexy?
Just I think it's all the headshots that I took when I was playing Amp-Guard at 14 years old. I think it just knocked things in place, and here I am. I mean, I don't know. Phoebe, why am I so sexy?
Oh,
Why did you marry me?
There it is. If you could just put that in the chat for us so we all know. Yeah, usually it's the ugly tree, but it could be the pretty stick, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, if Monkey's watching, I think that's what happened. I think I got hit with the pretty stick, and he got hit with the ugly tree.
There it is.
Sorry.
All right. Why is the mustache so fabulous?
Years of work. Years of work. It's taken 4 or 5 years to get it where it's at now. And now if we raise $3,000 for St. Jude's Children's Hospital, we're going to shave it off, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who are joining us just now, $500 will get Kodiak's beard gone. $1,000 takes off Cato's. $3,000, no more mustache.
I mean, you get all 3 at 3,000.
Yeah, you get all 3 at 3,000. I mean, it's the trifecta.
I could see 3 tall, like kitchen chairs, 6 feet apart. We all have masks on. We each individually take a mask off and shave.
Yep.
We put our mask back on. You know.
Yep. Yeah, we won't even use the same razors.
Nope.
Fine.
Nope.
It'll be okay.
Can you tell us about some maybe of the products you use? Do you use anything in that mustache?
I use mustache wax.
Nope.
It mostly to get it to curl the way it is. Otherwise, it looks like your beard. But let me see. Actually, I think I have the mustache wax I'm using right now on me. But Fisticuffs make some good stuff. If anybody's looking for things that are out there, Johnny Slicks usually has stuff for your beard, and he's made most of his products for beard and hair products. But the pomade that he has, if your mustache isn't as coarse or hard to get to curl, the pomade will hold it as well. Fireman House Wax has some really good stuff out there. This one here is Can You Handlebar Secondary. mustachio wax. And so that this is actually a really strong hold. And currently, Smiling Foam Works, I don't know if you guys ever heard of this company. They're weird and horrible people. But they're supposedly developing a mustache wax in-house to hopefully be offered once they get the recipe and science down of making that happen. They've been working on it for, I think, about a year and a half. But one of these days, it might come out right.
I mean, come over, have some tea,
Yeah.
buy some beard oils and whatnot, and or mustache wax, whatever it is.
See?
Get a foam sword, and
Yeah. Well,
also
we also sell Cassius apparel, and so we partnered with them to sell some of their tunes. I mean, you can come to shop and walk out looking like gold, swinging some of the best foam sticks and holding the best shields out there. Yeah.
and that's right at the gate, right? That's I mean, you can't
Yeah.
miss Smiley's shop,
Ever,
like
ever,
no.
especially if he's in charge of running gate.
As someone who's worked gate, yeah, it's really really hard to miss it. Still, would like to know, how do you fold your shirts?
Um, I roll them.
Military roll, where you fold them down the ends, or are you?
Yeah, you got to fold them on the ends, or the sleeves just get wonky sometimes. So if you want an even roll, you got to fold them on the ends. If I'm not rolling them, then I've got to actually fold in the sleeves first, and then I've got to fold in the edges, and then we're going to fold it into thirds at that point and set it nice, neat in the drawer.
Okay, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Prior service, I got it. I'm here for it.
I'm not even prior service. I just have to do it.
Well, I mean, yeah. Why do you insist on causing chaos on the field?
It's a blast. It's awesome. So Kaya asked that question. I know she did.
Yes, she did.
And the best memory is we're playing Ring the Bell here at Crimson Basin, and I'm playing Anti-Paladin, and I'm like, I want Paragon Anti-Paladin one of these days. I'm just saying, man. And so I'm going out there like, fine. So they go to ring the bell. I throw myself physically on top of the bell, role playing my death. They killed me over the bell. Sorry, I don't know what to tell you. And then the next time I did it, I died on top of the bell with my dome shield falling over the bell as well while I'm on top of my dome shield. And then the third time, I literally took the bell and just picked it up and stole it while they tried to ring it. And somebody kind of got mad. And then the fourth time, I got our entire team to create a shield wall in front of me. I told them to hold the line. And I picked up the bell and I scrunched down where nobody could see me behind the line. And I walked off and hid behind the tree. And actually, even my team didn't know I had left. The other team didn't know I had left. They broke through the line and tried to ring it, and nobody could find the bell. It was beautiful. And you know what happened after all of that? Everybody who played, with the exception of one person, who his only objective was he wanted to prove he was the best fighter and player that was playing the game, and he really wanted to win. Everybody else laughed and said it was by far the best battle game and best time they had in a long time playing, and that's why I create so much chaos.
Man, I got to play a battle game with you. That's just what it is at this point.
Remember, ladies and gentlemen, the key to battle games is not the goals that the battle game designer has set up, but the goals you set for yourself. Who cares if the other ones are met? Meet yours, and you'll win every time.
There you go. There you go. All right, a few more questions and we'll be done. What D&D class and alignment do you play?
Usually in D&D, I'm playing, a rogue or an assassin, and usually it's chaotic neutral.
It's interesting that you bring up chaotic neutral. Do you think players often choose chaotic neutral because they can't role play and just want to be mean to a DM without consequence?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I thought you were going to defend yourself there, and you're like, nope.
That's exactly what you did.
All right. Last question. I got to say it right, or Devrick will hurt me. If you were a Naruto character, what would be your special jutsu?
Let's see here. I would just be All Might and say Naruto's terrible.
Oof. Hey, now. Hold on. Hold on. No, 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 no. I mean, Devrick would agree with you, so he's okay with me. But hold on. It's a great show. It's actually the next part of my character is going to be getting some contacts. That's why I was asking Jinx last week so much about it.
Well, I'm really happy that you're going to finally get contacts because then you'll see how ridiculous it is.
Cosplay contacts, not. Oh, you. Sir Smiley, if you could just bear with me so I can make some announcements, we'll say our goodbye. Well, you're going to have to. That's how this is done. This is KOK. It was KOS earlier. All right.
Pizza. Don't forget to plug the St. Jude Children's Hospital fundraiser.
Absolutely. St. Jude's fundraiser, $500. Kodiak shaves his beard. $1,000. Kato from the Birding Land shaves his beard. He's been on KOK. You know how good that beard looks. $3,000. Sir Smiley shaves the stash. Prize and Joy stash gone. Sir Smiley, where do you want that money going so we can keep track of it?
I think currently, if I remember reading through our chat here tonight, is Phoebe, our region of Burning Lands, and my wife. I think she's possibly going to be setting up an event page, possibly a fundraiser. And whatever that looks like, I'm not 100% sure. But whatever that fundraiser is, I'm going to share with you, and hopefully together we can push that out to all the kingdoms and get people in there. It might be something as simple as Facebook fundraisers, but we'll do it.
Okay, and it's a Valentine's cutoff day, so if you're sharing with friends now, make sure that they know by Valentine's Day, $3,000, you get some hair cut off some people's faces. It'll be great. DS members, we have a current survey out for credits. Please take that. It's worth 1 credit for you doing it. We have 28 turn-ins currently. It's fantastic. DS and Burning Land members, we have an RP page. Go to the page, RP. Have fun with it. There's some challenges out from both of your regions and champions. Thank you, Sir Smiley. To get you an opportunity to do some great things while we're still in quarantine. Getting ready for us coming out of quarantine. The vaccine is out. People are starting to get it. Let's see. What else do I have? This weekend, for anyone that wants to come to Discord and listen to people talk, Zansha should be on to talk about Ravna guilds prepping us for our second Magic the Gathering tournament. Additionally, we will have a class from, I believe, Stillhet and Dame Annabelle Lee this week. So tune in for that. Also, there's some talk with Sir Anatole about adding a new thing to the weekly Gets and Goes. Keep your ear open for that. I think that's all I got. Sir Smiley, well, I typically don't have a lot, 15 viewers and whatnot, but Sir Smiley, do you have anything else? Please plug the Foamworks again, if you would.
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously, Smiling Foamworks, we got stuff. We still have gift cards if you're looking for a very last-minute Christmas gift. Mm-hmm. But other than that, everybody just stay safe. And if you have questions that you're like, man, AmpGuard International Board of Directors, we got questions for you. Shoot me a message. I may not be able to answer it or have anything worthwhile to say, but I'll do the best I can to make sure you feel like your voice is heard and we're here to actually represent you. So other than that, come visit Burning Lands at some point in time. Anybody, everybody. Absolutely. We'd love to see you when things open up and people can play. Plus, watch our Regent challenges in the Burning Lands because anybody, anywhere can participate in those and be put on our sign-in sheet for doing those things. So that's there. Check our page. It's posted most of the time. But other than that, back to you, Kodiak.
Thanks, Sir Smiley. With that being said, that's the end of Kingdom of Kodiak. I've been Kodiak.
I've been Smiley.
He's been Smiley, my co-host for this week. And until next week, goodbye.